Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, remains one of the most revered figures in American history. Born on February 12, 1809, in a log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky, Lincoln rose from humble beginnings to lead a nation through its most turbulent period of the Civil War. His legacy, shaped by his leadership, his moral vision, and his commitment to the principles of liberty and equality, continues to inspire generations. Lincoln's early life was marked by hardship and self-reliance. His family faced constant economic challenges, and Lincoln's formal education was sporadic at best. Nevertheless, he had an insatiable thirst for knowledge. He taught himself through reading books, and his love of learning became one of his most defining traits. Lincoln's early years in Indiana and Illinois were spent working on farms, splitting rails, and taking on various odd jobs. His rise from this modest background to the highest office in the land is a testament to his determination, intellect, and political acumen. In the early 1830s, Lincoln entered the world of politics. He served in the Illinois state legislature and briefly in the U.S. House of Representatives. His legal career also took off, as he became a self-taught lawyer, gaining a reputation for his eloquent speeches and logical reasoning. However, it was his opposition to the spread of slavery that brought him national attention. In 1858, Lincoln ran for a U.S. Senate seat in Illinois, facing off against Stephen A. Douglas in a series of famous debates. The Lincoln-Douglas debates centered around the issue of slavery, with Lincoln arguing that it should not be allowed to expand into new territories. Though he lost the Senate race, his principled stand against slavery and his compelling oratory established him as a key figure in the anti-slavery movement. In 1860, Lincoln was elected President of the United States as the Republican candidate. His victory, however, was highly controversial. The Southern states, fearing that Lincoln's administration would seek to abolish slavery, seceded from the Union, and the country was thrust into the Civil War. Lincoln's leadership during this time would prove crucial to the survival of the nation. The Civil War, which began in 1861, was a defining moment in American history. Lincoln was faced with the daunting task of preserving the Union while navigating a deeply divided nation. His leadership was characterized by a steadfast commitment to preserving the Union, even as he struggled with the moral and political complexities of slavery. Lincoln's views on slavery evolved over time, and by the time the war had escalated, he recognized that the abolition of slavery was essential to the Union's survival. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared that all slaves in Confederate-held territory were to be freed. This executive order not only transformed the nature of the war but also made the abolition of slavery a central goal of the Union's war effort. Lincoln's vision for the nation was one of healing and reconciliation. He understood that the Civil War would eventually come to an end, but the real challenge would be how to rebuild the country afterward. He famously referred to the need to bind up the nation's wounds and called for malice toward none, with charity for all. His approach to Reconstruction was marked by a desire for unity, rather than punitive measures against the South. Lincoln believed that the Union should be restored as quickly and smoothly as possible, with an emphasis on forgiveness and healing. Tragically, Lincoln did not live to see the full realization of his vision. On April 14, 1865, just days after the Confederate surrender at Appomattox Courthouse, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer, while attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. His death shocked the nation and left a profound sense of loss. At the time of his assassination, Lincoln's leadership and the principles he championed were still deeply embedded in the fabric of American society, but the challenges of post-war Reconstruction and the fight for civil rights continued in his absence. Lincoln's legacy is built on his unwavering commitment to the ideals of liberty, equality, and democracy. His speeches, such as the Gettysburg Address, continue to resonate with people around the world. In this brief address, delivered at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in 1863, Lincoln reminded the nation of the principles upon which it was founded, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. These words encapsulated the essence of Lincoln's leadership and vision for the United States. Today, Abraham Lincoln is remembered not only as a president who preserved the Union but also as a symbol of justice, freedom, and equality. His leadership during the Civil War and his efforts to end slavery transformed the nation. While the issues of race and equality continue to be central to American society, Lincoln's example remains a powerful reminder of the enduring fight for justice and the importance of leadership that upholds the values of freedom and equality for all. His impact on the nation is immeasurable, and his legacy continues to inspire those who believe in the promise of a more perfect union.